What's up? GTVJP in the house. I have a friend, he asked me some questions about different things here in Japan. He's out here also, lives up in Tokyo. And he also asked me about mixed black kids with Japanese, black and Japanese kids, and how they are being, how they're getting treated and stuff like that because they're mixed. And they call them hafu out here, but hafu just means mixed. It's the same thing like we see in the States, mixed, no difference. Anyway, but I guess when we say mixed, it's all cool, right? My kids are mixed, black and white, or black and Latino, or whatever. But when Japanese people say, oh, hafu, which means mixed, same thing, then we get offended about it. Well, not we, I don't care, but it's funny how people get offended about it. But anyway, yeah, a lot of the kids out here actually do go through a lot of problems and stuff like that. And it's no different than if they were going to the States. I mean, you go to uni high, I got dogged out. Not so much, but it's just the guys jealous only because most of the white women were like real good friends with me and stuff, and always hitting on me, kissing on me, and PE and stuff like that. And maybe because of vocabulary and stuff. But I did hang out with a lot of blacks, not at school, because when I was at uni, I hung out mostly with the Mexicans, I think, and then by myself and the skateboarders and stuff like that, because I had a lot of white friends that I went to elementary school and junior high school with. And but when I was in the hood in Venice, I hung out with blacks in Inglewood. I hung out with blacks; they were the only ones there and stuff like that. But in Venice, it was whites and blacks and stuff like that. So everybody mixed, was like really nice, cool family. But yeah, a lot of the kids will go through some problems, but it's not like, I mean, if you compare it to the States, it's more safer. Well, it's more safer. Huh? It's safer out here than it is in the States because of the problems that this black on black crime in the schools, it's terrifying and stuff. He also mentioned about Ariana, the woman who was selected by the Japanese panel to represent Japan in the beauty pageant, and I don't know why they would bring her in to ask her about racism because she's Japanese. Okay, I don't think she's American. She's Japanese, and so for her to be racist, for people to be racist against her, I don't know if that stands. Plus, the definition of racism is a government system built to keep a certain group of people down. Now, there is discrimination out here, but everyone discriminates. I mean, it's like you guys discriminate between a beautiful woman and an ugly woman, right? So, that's discrimination, your choice. And prejudice is just, you believe something about people without any proof, and that's it. But racism cannot be done by people. So in other words, if you're being harassed by a person or a group of people, then that's just them, practicing their prejudice and discrimination. But it's not like, because they're not the government, where it's almost like kind of impossible. You got to go through all these courts and stuff. Individual people, a group of people, they can be touched, and you can form your own group and go after them, and stuff like that. So that's so that's how it is out here. But a lot of the black men I've heard one guy, he lived somewhere and he wrote a book, actually published a cartoon book about the racism and stuff. And I had another friend who talked about it, I think a little bit about his kids, I think, but I'm not sure. So yeah, I think so. But I've had other friends, who talked about it, and I hear a few things. And so I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, well, aren't your kids better off here? People talking about it, then they would be in the States because of the fightings they might get into or whatever. I mean, the fights they might get into or whatever. So. But anyway, getting back to Ariana, when they had her making those videos and stuff like that, I'm thinking, like, why would they even make some videos about that when she's representing her country, the government, or the body, or whatever? They chose her over all the 100% Japanese women to represent Japan, and that's not racism, you know. And I don't think I can understand if she's talking about the discrimination, you know, in the country and stuff against Japanese people and other people here and stuff like that. But for Americans to come out here and then say, oh, just because their father is American, then you know, they're going to bring all that stuff from the States over here. I don't think that was really inappropriate and stuff. And I didn't really like it, you know. And I don't understand because Japanese people are black too. You know, I come out here and I saw it, and you can see it. You know, I guess people gonna need to go out today. Really need to look at people from the side. You know, you can see it, the thick lips, the big eyes. You know, there are what this Indian tribe in. I mean, not Indian tribe, but African tribe in what's that place called? In Africa. They Chinese. You know, I mean, well, they look like, well, Chinese people look like them, I should say, and stuff. So, I mean, it's just really interesting and stuff. And I think a lot of problems, you know, because, I mean, to me, what a lot of fathers probably fail to realize is that their children are Japanese. And their children have all the rights that a regular Japanese kid and a Japanese man and woman have here in Japan. Now, the father don't have those rights, okay, but the child does. As a Japanese citizen, they have specific rights that me, like my son, my kids out here, they have rights that I am not entitled to, you know. So, like becoming a president or whatever, you know, prime minister, whatever you want to call it, you know, I don't have that right, you know. And so, unless I become Japanese, but then, you know, you never know. But anyway, I mean, yeah, I never know. Not saying I want to become Japanese, but I mean, you know, if I did, would I be the prime minister? That would be cool. But anyway, what I think a lot of the problem is that a lot of the fathers out here, they complain too much. You know, really, a lot of guys just really complain too much. And I think it started off first because of the lack of attention that they get from the women out here, or the boredom that comes after they done went through their little phases and stuff. You know, hitting up the clubs and talking to the same women, you know, and getting played by the same women, and they end up getting married, and the wife become a chief executive in charge and chief executive officer, and you know, and they're pretty much their alpha male just goes out the window because she's the boss, you know. And then I mean, it's a trip what happens. But a lot of the fathers, a lot of these men, these black men out here, African and whoever, you know, they can't handle the pressure and stuff that these women put on them. And then for the mere fact is that they're not really 100% functional in Japan, meaning that they can't read their language, they don't really know how to talk to a lot of the people and stuff like that. A lot of them really don't, not all, but you know, there's a few who just don't really put much, I won't say put in effort, everyone puts in effort, but don't actually accomplish a lot of things. Now, I do have some friends who just, you know, they got one friend I know, he got kids out here, and he invested in something with his brother-in-law out in Africa, and he asked me to do it, you know, I didn't do it, you know. Now he's probably a millionaire, going on a billionaire real soon, you know, and it's only in a matter of, what, 3 to 5 years and stuff. So I'm like, but you know, me and him still cool, be friends, you know, and stuff like that. And they say, oh, congratulations to him and stuff, you know. But there are a lot of other guys out here who do business, like the guy in Wisdom 21. You know, I think he got a daughter, but I don't know if his daughter's young though. But you know, he went through his problems and stuff, and ended up becoming, I mean, very successful in his business. And but you know, with his success, you know, people are going to have problems and stuff like that too. And you know, but I can't really, I don't know, I just mentioned it because of his success, because I don't think his daughter was born later. I think maybe after he sold his business and stuff. But still, there are a lot of other brothers out here who have kids, and they'll talk about the racism out here and stuff. But I think more or less, you know, they're going too far saying it's racism, and instead of that's just how kids act. I mean, my brother, he's lighter than me. Both my brothers talk crap about me because I'm light. You know, my first wife, she said, some things about me too, and said something really horrific to my brother who, they're closer to each other than I am. When we were married, now that we're divorced, they're probably even closer, So, I mean, it's just really interesting. But I think the problem is a lot of the black men out here don't really know what to do, or don't know what to tell their kids to protect themselves. I'll tell you a few stories about my son. My son came home one day and he was talking about how the kids were talking about his hair. And I was laughing. I started laughing and said, well, I don't understand why they would talk about his hair when there are Japanese people out here with afros too. Curly hair, long hair that's curly too. Some people got straight hair, but it stands up and it grows about an inch or so before it curls down, because they got to put relaxers to, make it down. Some people got curly hair, and a lot of people do come out black. And I heard a long time ago that they had to put relaxers, and like some kids were born with brown hair, and they had to dye their hair black and stuff like that, to keep this uniform. Try to create this uniform in Japan, which is not, because Japanese people are a mixed people, and a lot of people need to understand that. So anyone told me that, I was laughing and stuff, and I said, well, your hair is God. He was like, what do you mean? And I said, do you know what gravity is? And I had to explain it to him, and he was like, oh, okay. And I said, well, your hair defies gravity. Your hair stands up. All your friends' hair fall down. When the wind blows, their hair blows. When the wind blows, your hair don't move. Your hair is strong. It resists the wind. It tells gravity to fuck off, and all that stuff. And it reminded me of I had a conversation with one of my friends in this one of these white boy groups I'm in, the only one. And they're all cool and stuff, except for they always call themselves an N-word and stuff. It's funny. But we were talking about that, and I said to one of the guys, somebody said something, or something was mentioned about nothing defies gravity. And I said, yeah, there's something that defies gravity. And one guy was like, no, there isn't. No, you're just trolling. I said, no, there's something that defies gravity. He's like, what? Nothing defies gravity. I said, my hair. And when I said that, of course, he imagined a fro. The fro defies gravity. It stands to the side, it stands up. However it grows, it's like that, and gravity does not affect it. And so he was like, oh, okay. He started laughing. And I told my son that, and then I also told my son, I said, hey, plus, with your hair, one strand of your hair, you can create almost all the equations of mathematics. Your curl, everything is there, right there from a strand of black hair, you can create mathematics. And he was like, wow, So I said, next time your friends talk about your hair, then you tell them that their hair bows down to your hair. Your hair stands up. Your hair is a god, their hair bows down. Okay? And you just tell them that. And, tell them your hair defies gravity, and explain if they don't know what gravity is, then explain it to them. So a few weeks later, he came back and told me that somebody was talking about his hair in class, and he told him what I said, and I guess he probably added a little bit more. I don't know if he studied it or not. I doubt it, but, he told him what I said, and the kids got mad. Some, I'm sure some cried. He said some cried, because, I guess they created this bad image of their hair and stuff. My son's hair stand up like his God up in the heavens, and their hair constantly baying. Bay means bow, constantly bowing and stuff. And the teacher got upset too, because of course he's included. And then when I was telling my son about that, because he always tells me these things in the car when we're driving, my wife actually kept, noticing her flinching and stuff. She said, well, what about my hair? And then also I told him, I said, and when you touch straight hair that just lays down, how does it feel? He said, hard. I said, touch my hair. He touched it. He said, I said, how does it feel? He said, soft. I said, yeah, your hair is soft. Everyone's talking about how straight hair is all soft and stuff, but it's not soft. There is no cushion. When you touch it, then it's flat. It's heavy. You try to lift it, it's heavy. And if you rub your fingers through it, you're going to get cut. I said, you rub your fingers through black hair, you're not getting cut. You rub it through white people, not white people, but straight hair, you're going to get cut. There's a chance you're going to get a haircut. A haircut, I like a paper cut or something like that. But anyway, was like, well, okay. And, you know, of course the teacher got upset and stuff. Then another time he told me, and see, that's what I'm saying, you know, a lot of parents, a lot of black men don't tell their kids this. I'm thinking, because not, well, the ones that told me, I don't know about the others, because some people try to explain, like, well, you know, we built the pyramids and we did that and we did that. But, you know, your kids are not hearing that, because they're probably thinking, well, you know, I'm not Egyptian, I'm not black, I'm Japanese. You know, and I asked my son goes to the hospital, whatever, they say, are you, where are you from? And my son said, I'm Japanese. What the hell are you asking me? Where am I from? I'm Japanese. And then, like, you speak English? I mean, Japanese? You understand? He said, yeah, I told you I'm Japanese. You know, like, oh, you know, and of course, you know, a lot of these people out here, not all, but, you know, you get some people out here that's just like, whoa, it's like, they probably didn't even, you know, look out in their backyard, it's just there, you know, something like that. But it's interesting, though, that, you know, I never hear these conversations from a lot of these black men when they're talking about their problems with their kids. Like, one time, my son, he said that they called him a gorilla one day. And I started laughing and stuff, and I told my son, I'm like, well, I told him the story. I said, yeah, I remember one time, oh, no, that didn't happen. That happened after. But anyway, I'll tell you the story later. Well, I'll tell you the story now. One day I was in the, I was washing up in the morning and stuff. Not washing up, but brushing my teeth or doing something with my hair. And I kind of turned to the side and I looked from the side and I saw my image from the side and I looked just like a gorilla. You know, it was really interesting because I get a little fat, you know, and my jaw sticks out a little bit. My hair was short, you know, almost like the length of a gorilla's hair or something like that, you know. And I was real at that time. I was really black, you know, because sometimes when I come to the sun, I can turn black. I just turn different colors on. This is real. And so I was like, whoa, you know, I look like a gorilla. And then a couple of weeks later, when I was teaching in Osaka, in Yama, actually, one of the students said, oh, you look like a gorilla. And everybody started laughing and stuff. And then when I looked down, they looked down. I said, no, go ahead and laugh. She's right. And I told her. I said, yeah, I do. Actually, I do look like a gorilla. But I said, you know, gorillas are beautiful animals. You know, they got many wives, take care of their wives, don't leave their wives, their children and stuff like that. So, you know, it's okay. But I mean, even though I look like a gorilla, I'm not a gorilla, but, you know, whatever. Everyone looks like an animal and stuff. And then my wife was like, and then she jumped in and she said, well, you know, they say white people call Japanese people monkeys. And I was like, yeah, I know, I heard that. You know, they said something like that. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know why you guys call yourselves yellow, because you don't look yellow, you look more gold, if anything. You know, she said, oh, but, and then she told me about she was the second person that told me about that movie, The Planet of the Apes. The Planet of the Apes, well, the third person. The first one was this one girl, a mother, a daughter, 2, 3 daughters I was teaching. And the mother told me that, and I was like, whoa, I didn't even know it. Even though when I watched the movie, I knew it was something peculiar about it because of the way that little girls were giggling and acting all shy and stuff. And I'm like, why are they acting shy and stuff like that? And then I came out here, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together. But when she told me, I was like, oh, okay. Because she said some white guy, I guess, came out here and made it to mimic Japanese people or something like that and stuff like that. But anyway, my wife told me that. I was like, whoa, okay, you know, that's cool, whatever, you know. And then, but I told my son, I said, listen, I said, how big is a gorilla? He said, very big. I said, how big is a monkey? He said, little. I said, okay. So then, or chimpanzee or monkey or whatever. But anyway, I said, if a gorilla and a monkey get into a fight, who's going to win? And he said, the gorilla. I said, okay. So next time they call you a gorilla, you take a sheet of paper, you ball it up, you put it on the table, you point to yourself, gorilla, you beat on your chest, and then you point at the paper and you say monkey. You take your fist and you BAM on the table as hard as you can. Okay, and that's all you do. Don't say anything else. And so like a month later, I guess some kids called him a gorilla. He did what I said, and oh man, some of them kids, she said, were crying and stuff. And the teacher was really infuriated with him and the other students, and he told them, hey, next time they make any jokes about him being a gorilla or a monkey or whatever they say in class, that they're going to get in trouble and stuff. And after that, that was it, you know. Then another time, one guy was talking about the family and my daughter, and you know, because they go to the same school, and she's kind of very active and stuff. Everybody might call it attention deficit. There ain't no attention deficit. There ain't no such thing as that. It's called kids being active, in a school environment where they keep you almost in. It's like being in jail, locked up, sitting down. Nobody can do that. Adults don't even do that. And people that sit down, you got to move around. That's what will increase intelligence by moving and stuff like that. And I got evidence of that. But anyway. So one of the kids was talking about the family and my daughter and stuff like that, his sister, and then he said they got into a fight. And I'm like, well, why would you just ignore it? He said, yeah, I tried to, but I really couldn't because he started saying really bad things about our color and stuff. And I'm like, so I don't care, I said, listen, you're there to learn, okay? And that's it. If they talk, then you tell the teacher to tell them to stop. If they don't stop, then fine. As long as they don't touch you, let them talk, because all they're doing is disturbing you and all the other students too, So, but he said he couldn't take it. He started yelling back at the kid. They got in a fight. They both stood up, and the guy karate kicked him in his chest. I mean, not in the chest, but in his ribs. My son just balled his fist up and punched him right in the mouth, dropped him. Dude started crying and stuff like that. And my wife heard about it, went up to the school and said, hey, y'all, we're gonna sue. Blah, blah, blah. And it took a while, but everything got settled and stuff. I think they became friends again and stuff. And then another time he was telling me about, they calling me black and this and that. My skin looked dirty and stuff like that. And I just started laughing. I was like, I keep telling you to read these books. I said, the reason your skin is black is because of melanin or melaside or whatever those cells are, black cells. Melan means black in Greek. They're in you. And when the sun is active, they become active and absorb all the harmful rays and stuff like that. And pretty much it's like a natural suntan lotion. And also, they energizes your body. When you're out in the sun, you're energized more. So don't get upset about your skin. Your skin is beautiful. There's nothing wrong. And I said, plus, your friends, why would they talk about your skin when in the wintertime they're white, and then when the summertime comes about April, everyone turns black? Today oh man, I really need to get a picture of these. Well, they kids, that's why I can't get it. But these kids out here, they get as dark as I am. I see them, they get it. I was riding on a bike today, and there was this girl and a boy on the bike in front of me, and they're probably in like junior high school or high school. And they were just as dark as I was. Definitely dark as my son. And all these kids out here get like that. The men, they get dark. When you're walking down the street, you see a lot of the men are darker than their wives and stuff like that. You got some Japanese people who are just dark all year round. Some don't get dark, they'll burn. And some, they're majority of them, I think majority of them are two colors. In the winter they turn white, and summertime they turn black, just like chameleons and stuff. They just change with the summer. And a lot of Japanese people love their black skin. The ones who got it, they're gonna love who they are, and the ones who can't turn black, of course, they're gonna love what they are. And people are gonna talk about each other, but it's just like white people, and they hanging out. I hang out with my friends, and one person come in as white, and they're all pale and everything. They're like, oh, your skin pale. Go get some sun, get dark. So it's not a bad thing. I think it's just those kids just trying to be funny. And so I told my son that, and told him also, when your friends in the summertime, do your friends hang out in the sun? And he said, no. I said, but you can't, right? He said, yeah. I said, okay, so next time they say that, you tell them what I said, and then also tell them if they keep talking, then let's go out in the sun and talk about that, And then I told them, also tell them that there are only two people on this earth, those who the sun burns and those who the sun energizes. You ask them, which one are they? Because a lot of Japanese people out here, when they walk in, of course you see them with the parasols, the umbrellas and stuff. When they're stopping at the light or whatever, everybody's standing in the shade. I'm the only one out in the sun. I'm with my friends, and they all stand in the sun and they say, oh, come over here, it's cool. I'm like, yeah, it's cold. I'm cool right here where I'm at, And they're like, yeah, but it's hot. I'm like, I'm not hot. And I told them to touch my skin cool. And they're like, why is your skin cold? I said, it's because I'm a God child. I'm a son of the sun. The son of the sun, yeah. And stuff like that, And they're like, uh-huh. And then I explain it to them. They're like, oh, okay, it's just biology, chemistry, whatever. Chemistry, black, study black, that's right. So anyway, so he told them that, and them kids got mad. some got sad. He said some laughed because, you know, the ones that understood, and they're dark too. And the teacher got angry, you know, again, you know, and said, hey, you know, just told them, they said, hey, you know, leave him alone. Leave him alone. You know, and I think there was something else happened where this one kid, they were outside playing, and one kid was talking about his skin, and he was a really short kid. And so my son just started punching him in the chest, doing some karate punches down him right in the chest, and he ran home and crying. His mom called or something, my mom, and said my son beat him up. Then we told her what happened, and you know, because he was talking about his skin color and stuff like that. So I went and apologized. She acted like she didn't really care and everything. I'm like, oh, forget it, you know, that's Japanese problem. I ain't got to be dealing with it and stuff. And then he was carrying on and stuff, and she was like being, I think she's teaching her daughter too, so she's kind of being mean a little bit to her daughter, whatever. So finally she just stopped teaching her daughter and stuff. And it kept going on, so my wife just said, you know what, she called her and said, listen, if you don't stop all this crap, you know, talking and all of this stuff, I'm just going to take you to court. You know, we can just settle this in court. I'm going to sue you. And that stopped everything, because, you know, court takes a lot of money. Plus, when you do that, I think the police, they come and investigate, and they all in your business out here. The police, they just all in your business and stuff right here. You know, so it was really interesting. But that's what I'm thinking. There's another story. Oh, and then when he got into high school, you know, I was a little concerned, you know, because the school that he goes to, I hear it's not so, the kids aren't really smart or something like that. That's what I hear the adults say, but I don't really know. But my son, he don't really study, and I keep telling him to study, but he doesn't study and stuff. So I'm like, you know, you got to study, you know. So I made him read a dictionary and stuff. But anyway, he got into some kid was talking about him or something. And they got into a fight, and he beat him up, you know. and evidently the teachers really didn't do anything about it, you know. And my wife found out about it, went and talked, and some, I think they apologized to each other, and you know, I don't know exactly what happened. They were friends, you know, but you know, that's what I told my son. I said, you know, if they talk, just let them talk. I said, but they hit you, you punch them back. I said, you hit them back, you know. I said, you're Japanese, and they hit you, you can hit them back. Nothing's going to happen unless, you know, they connect, and then, you know, you just got to, that's just something you just got to deal with. But out here, you know, just like in the States, you know, these Japanese people are not going to jump into fights when their kids are fighting and stuff like that. And all of them. I mean, it's like, you know, when I get into a fight, my mom made me go out when I was like young. I'll tell this story. I was living on Cascade in Detroit. I think it was 10,009 Cascade. And these two guys were taller than me, came on the porch, was messing with me. So I just went in the house. My mother, like, you go out there and fight. I'm like, I don't want to fight them. For what, you know? And then so she said, well, if you don't go out there and fight them, I'm going to fight you. Because my mom was always making me fight and stuff, you know? And so I went out there and I just picked them both up, hurled them over the banister onto the ground, and they both got hurt. And their parents get all upset, you know. But I'm little, you know, and they all big, so you know, I'm like, you know, but you know, that's what parents are gonna do. You know, you heard, you know, you can have a kid 5'6" and slam your 7-foot kid to the ground, and that mom's gonna come and say, why you at 5'6" slamming my 7-foot child to the ground, you know. But the whole thing is in the States though, when people get in the fights, what you gonna do? You're not gonna go out there and start complaining. You're like, well, you go out there and whoop their ass. You know, you don't come in this house, beat, you know, and that's how it was, you know, when I was coming up. You know, now you can't really do that because everybody's, you know, resorting to other things. But still, how can I say that? Still, you know, that's just what I do. You know, I just tell myself, somebody hit you, you hit them back. You know, and now he's real tall, so no one bothers him. You know, and I told him, I said, you know, once you get taller, then people are going to start leaving you alone. But you got to get your intelligence up, because one time his friends were over, and he was like really standing way, he's almost as tall as I am. You know, his friends are like really small. And so, I mean, short. And so I asked him, I said, you know, are your friends smart? He said, yeah, they're really smart. I'm like, what about you? He's like, so. I said, you know what? It don't make no sense for you to be the tallest one in class and be the dumbest one. I said, it don't add up. Just all about definition, vocabulary. But anyway, let me get on talking all along and stuff. But anyway, the whole thing, I think the problem is that a lot of these black men come out here when they have these kids and stuff, they just forget how to act. And that's one thing in my videos. I always say, when you come to Japan, don't change. A lot of brothers come out here and they change. They can come out here and be all tough, and then they come out here and get beat down, or I don't know how it happens, but I guess this peacefulness, I guess because everyone thinks peace is mild. No. Peace seeks out evil and destroys it. That's what peace does. Okay, peace is not idling, sitting around and all that stuff. Where there's violence, peace gonna come out there and say, hey, no, and crush it and make it peace. That's what peace is all about. But a lot of people come out here and they just, not only a lot of men come out here and they get weak and then docile, and then they start complaining and about some of the stupidest stuff. And I'm like, you wouldn't do that in the States. No. Well, why are you doing it here? I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Matter of fact, don't even tell me. Because I don't even want to know. I end up listening to your crap, end up slipping into it and stuff like that. But it's really interesting, it really is. So about the problems, like Ariana, she said she had problems when she was in school. I didn't hear anything after she grew up, got older, because once you get out of school and stuff, people don't pretty much bother you. But she said, from what I heard, unless I'm missing a lot of information, she was talking about how she was harassed in school, but that's normal. Japanese kids out here get harassed. Some get harassed to the point where they commit these terminal acts, and a lot of things out here. These kids, even just being Japanese, I'm sure they probably go through a lot of stuff now. I'm sure what they go through is probably worse than what a normal what a mixed kid goes through, because after mixed kids get in junior high school and what is it called, in high school, especially they get tall, they it just goes away and stuff. And some kids might talk about them, but what they gonna do, call them black, and then in the summertime they go, hey, blackie, and then in the summertime they go, oh, we blackie, so I can't talk about you. No, they're gonna talk because of that's just the way their parents brought them up, and it's just their ignorance, to do that instead of wasting all that, instead of spending that time, being more intelligent, they're wasting time, doing, things that are just, how can I say, not intelligent, and in some cases not smart. But I don't know, it's just really interesting. But I think a lot of the brothers out here, they just come to Japan and really look at it in a different light that they shouldn't be looking at it like, and especially like me, I'm guilty of this. You have these black men out here and their kids don't speak fluent English. What's going on? My kid did, my wife said, why didn't you teach him? I said, no, I just want to get his Japanese because English for me is easy to teach. And so, I was teaching him in my school and stuff, but one day I just sat him down, got serious with him. In 2 weeks, I taught him, how to speak English. So if he wants to speak English, he knows how to put the sentences together. He knows the nouns and stuff like that, how to match subjects and verbs. He doesn't really have to understand adverbs and stuff like that, because I taught him a secret where he doesn't, to do something that he doesn't even have to even really worry about it. And so, sometimes we just sit and make, use words and make sentences and stuff, and he make his own sentences and they come out fine and stuff, and the only problems he might have he might forget, he might use a singular word with a singular verb with a plural, with a plural subject, but, black people do that too, you be and, you is and all this stuff, So, but then I tell him, when he said, I said, no, that's not correct, I correct him, so I'm not really worried about that, because I really want him to get his Japanese intelligence and stuff up first, and then the English, it'll take really a short time. But, there are a lot of black men who just don't. I don't know if they know how to teach their kids or not. And there are a lot of white men out here too. It's just like the fathers, the foreign fathers come out here and their kids don't speak English, And it's not just a black thing, it's just why, but I guess I have no idea. I guess maybe they're not intending their kids to they're not expecting the kids to, claim both citizenships because they can't. But I heard there's some people do somehow they do, but I'm not gonna say how. But anyway, well, what I heard, because like I said, it could be hearsay and stuff. But for the most part, though, a lot of brothers out here, a lot of black men out here, just complaining and not really putting any effort into educating their son biologically about their bodies and how their bodies are. How can I say it? Are natural to the earth, and like when I have problems with Japanese people, this is some guys, young people, not the older people. So I got in this one conversation with this older man, but I just tell him. I said, well, you know what melanin is? And they know. I look it up and show him. I see. I say, you understand it, right? He said, I said, okay. So then we need to discuss anything further. And they're like, oh, okay, and just leave it like that, And if they want to talk, let them talk, because a lot of people, they just jealous, I mean, when you think about it, though, a lot of people out here in Japan are just stuck, just like a lot of people in the United States, black, a lot of Americans, regardless of what you look like, how the sun affects you, a lot of people are just stuck, and they're gonna always be stuck, and so when you get those people, and it's usually those that are stuck are the ones that are causing the most of the problems and stuff like that. What I think, but you do got some rich kids that are causing problems too, but I guess that's because they're stuck in their parents' wealth and circle, until they grow and get their own and stuff. But I mean, it's just really, really interesting, though. Let's see, anything else? Oh, okay, now, and here's a couple of stories, not related. It was related to the talking about black skin and stuff like that, not necessarily with the kids, but it's just interesting. I was in this club, and this I don't know, I was just dancing by myself, and this Asian guy walks over to me, while I'm on the floor, and start talking about my skin. And I looked at him, and I'm thinking he was American. I'm thinking, nah, he probably kidding. Maybe he's from Singapore or whatever, I don't know. If he was American, I don't know, but his English was good. And he just talked to me, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I see his skin, and I looked at him, and I'm like, man, if I took this glass and just smashed it into his face, he out of line. So I said, okay, fine, you want to do this, fine. So I was a little drunk, so I kind of sobered up. And I said, what color is your skin? He said, it's white. I said, you're not fucking white. I said, a piece of paper is white. You're goldish color. Okay, you got a tint brown in you. Okay, I don't know, but you're not white. So don't tell me, you don't hear a lie and say you're white. You're not white. Okay, and you're not fucking yellow. Okay, you're more gold than anything else. He like, but you're still black. That's okay. Sure. Your skin color is a little goldish, but what color? I said, what color is the most important thing on your body? What color is it? Dude started laughing. I said, my ass. If you don't like black, then you go cut your fucking penis off. He walked away, and I guess one of his friends, some girl, was with him too, and she came on there and started talking about my skin. I'm like, the fucking bitch, the fuck, I just want to slap her in her mouth. I'm like, damn, I'm standing over 6 feet tall, big and stuff. Y'all little munchkins come over here talking all this shit about my skin color. I'm like, wow, you guys, because really in Japan, what it is, a lot of people do talk shit because no one fights. Because if you fight somebody, you're gonna go get sued. You're gonna come out to pocket thousands of dollars. So that's why a lot of people just talk a lot of shit. So in Japan, basically, you just have to get your shit talking up, if you want to hang. And so I get mine, you black, all right, let's go in the center and talk about it. So anyway, she came over there talking all that stuff, and I did the same thing to her. And she like, I said, yeah, you cut your pussy off. Then, if you don't like it, get a white one, because I know you don't want no pink one. And I told him, the guy, because he came back when I was talking to her, and I said, you don't want no white one. He said, yeah, you right, I'm sorry, you know how it is. But I said, man, listen, no. I said, listen, I was like, it was a couple of years ago, so maybe it was like 49 or 50. I'm like, I'm an old man, you guys, young kids come over here talking this stuff. I'm like, man, you guys, we're in the club. I said, why don't you go find you a girl, get you a hotel, and go get some. And I told the girl, why don't you go find you a guy, get a hotel, and get you some. You don't come in the club talking about black people's skin and stuff. You black just as like I am in the summertime. I know you get dark. you know. And I said, if you guys want to continue talking about this, then we can wait in the daytime. Let's go stand out in the sun and talk about this. You know, they, it's cool, we're sorry, and everything. And they just walked away. I was like, man, you know. But and I have to do that to a lot of people. You know, you're talking. I'm like, all right, fine. If you want to talk like that, then let's go out in the sun and talk about it. And they just start, you know, especially when they're talking white people too, and they, especially on YouTube or whatever, you know, they talking their crap. I say, come on, let's go stand out in the sun and talk about it. Oh, why you saying the sun? It energizes me. So y'all talk about my black skin all you want, you know, whatever. I don't care. Good. Let's go stand in the sun. You know, and it just crushed the whole thing. But you know, getting back to the fathers and stuff, I think what they need to do is really tell their children some educational things to tell these kids that's bothering them. Now, and like I said, usually it's going to just bother them until they get into junior high school. Now, this one white lady, I think she was from Ukraine, she's a teacher, been out here for like 30 years. I went to one of her seminars and she happened to bring it up. I don't know why, but she brought it up saying that, you know, her kid, of course, white, Japanese, and she said, I guess it's like when he was like, he's 30 now, I guess, so I don't know how old he is, but when he was in school, he said they used to beat her son up. He come home with black eyes and busted noses and all this stuff. And I'm like, whoa, why don't she just move? But then she said it was because she did go to one of those low-class schools, you know, where they don't teach anything. The kids, you know, they just fighting, ignoring the teachers and stuff and don't really care and stuff. And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, well, why didn't you just put them in a karate class and tell them, you know, if they hit them back? Because, you know, you hit these kids back. You know, a lot of them, you know, especially if he's a foreigner, you know, he's going to be bigger than a lot of them anyway. Not all of them. There are some big Japanese kids, okay? You know, it's some girls bigger than, the same age as my daughter, taller than her, that's the same age as my son. And when he was in high school, you know, this one girl, the tallest person in the class was a girl. And I think this when he was in the 5th and the 6th grade. So, you know, I'm like, you know, just tell them to hit them back, you know, because you hit one of these kids back, they're gonna back off, you know, or, you know, whatever. So, but she said it got so bad she had to pull him out of school, and I was thinking, you know, wow, that's too bad, you know. But kids go through that, you know. I mean, it's just something that they're gonna go through. Whoa. So anyway, I dropped my phone, and I'm holding it in one position, and my hand is like, wow. My hand is like going numb. Oops, sorry, it's upside down. Okay, let me get this. My hand is going numb, and I'm trying to get this thing. That's where I'm at. Come on, focus. Is it focus? It look focused. So anyway, I get the feelings back in my hand. Thanks for falling. But anyway, I think that's what the problem is. Instead of a lot of the fathers, you know, telling their kids to, you know, give them some educational things, you know, and sit in the class, and they'll, kids will talk to them, and, you know, like it was this, here's another one too, like, I got 2 stories, it's funny though, and it's kind of off subject, but it's still about kids and discrimination and stuff like that, that's really cool. So one day, okay, I'll tell you about the other one. Oh yeah, so I'm teaching in this kindergarten class. So this one girl starts crying, and I'm like, what's wrong? Oh, he called me a monkey. And I'm like, okay, so why you, I said, why are you crying? He said, oh, because such and such called me a monkey. And I'm like, okay, so why are you crying? And she said, because such and such called me a monkey. And I'm like, okay, but I'm asking you, why are you crying? So the other kids said, oh, such and such called her a monkey. And I'm like, so? That doesn't mean she needs to cry? He said, well, I'm not a monkey, you know, because they call each other monkeys and stuff like that. And I'm like, so? I said, do you know what a monkey, I asked her, when he called you a monkey, instead of you crying, you should ask him to draw a picture of the monkey that he's thinking about in his mind. You know, and she said, well, why should I do that? I said, because they're not going to be the same. And I asked her when I said, if the monkey that he's thinking in his mind, and you guys think of that monkey, you know, or I tell you guys to think about a monkey, are you guys going to have the same image? And they said, no. And I said, right, that's right. And I said, so everybody just draw a picture of a monkey. Everybody drew a picture of a monkey. Her monkey was the worst looking, ugliest monkey of them all. The guy that drew a monkey was cute. Everyone else had a really nice monkey. Hers was like the ugliest of them all. And I said, okay, so this is he called you a monkey, and this is the image of the monkey you created in your mind. And then you started crying. So I'm asking you, why are you crying? And plus, I had to explain a little more, but I'm just trying to make it short, And after I explained it, then she's like, oh, because of the image of the monkey that I created in my mind. I said, yes. And I'm like, why would you create such a bad image of a monkey anyway? That's why I just say, just next time he call you a monkey, just, what can I say? What did I say? Just ask him to draw a picture of a monkey. Now, he drew that picture, the picture of this monkey he drew. Had you asked him to draw it, he would have showed you that monkey. Would you have been crying? She said, no. I said, okay. And then I told everyone, I said, you guys stop talking bad about each other, okay? You're not monkeys. I look like a gorilla. So what? Just we learning English, enjoy the class. And then the teacher was in class, and after I finished, she got really angry at both of them, and then, especially the boy though, and then told her to stop crying, and then I guess she took my side and talked to him something, whatever. But they came back in crying and apologizing to each other to the class. And then one time I was teaching, and one of the boys was like, "Oh, Sensei looks like Uncle." And he was talking to his friends, but I heard it, and I turned around and I was like, what did you say? And the teacher was in class too, and I'm like, what did you say? He said, I didn't say anything. I said, yes, you did. Yes. He said, no, I didn't. I put the pencil down and said, all right, English over. I walked over close to him. Not close, I was like a table away from him. And I said, repeat what you said. He said, no. And I said, okay, what did he say? And everybody said, oh, he said you look like Uncle. And Uncle is about with me. And so I was like, and when they told me that, I just started laughing. And they're looking at me all funny. I said, you know what bowel movement is? I said it's minerals, vitamins, and all of that stuff that your body don't use, and it comes out. Okay? The more vibrant or vital, more minerals and whatever it is that's in it, the more it is, the darker it is. Then, you know what they do with it? They say, yeah, just put it in toilet. I said, no. They take bowel movement, or dong, or unko, I just said unko. They take unko, and they put it in the ground. Then, they take a seed, and they put that seed in the ground, in the unko. And then they water it. Then that seed turns to vegetables and fruits and different foods that you eat. And it grows, and they cut it, and they put it in the store. Then your mama goes to the store and buy that food that was grown in that unko. And then the kids like, oh, it was like nasty and gross or whatever. And I said, and then she goes home, she cooks it, and then put that food that was grown in the unko on your table. And then you sit down and you eat that food that was grown from unko. And like, no, we don't believe it. And I said, sure, it's true. She was like, yeah. And it was like, oh, well, I don't know what to eat anymore, stuff like that. And I said, then, one more thing. Unko is black because it has the vitamins. As the vitamins get seeped out, as it comes out, then it turns brown, then yellow, then white. And I said, when it turns white, then that means there's no vitamins, no minerals, nothing in it. It's worthless. It's worthless. And when the wind blows, it turns to dust and just blow in the dust. And then I turned to that kid and I said, what color is your skin? No, I said, what color is my skin? He said, oh, you're brown or black, whatever color he is. And I said, what color is your skin? Oh, Hada-Ito. I said, well, I'm Hada-Ito too. Unless Hada-Ito actually is a color. I don't know what color it is. So I'm just thinking skin color. Because Hada means skin. But anyway, I said, what color? And he said, oh, I'm white. I said, give me a color. But like I said, maybe my ignorance, Hada-Ito could have been a color, but I need to look it up. But anyway, I said, give me a color. He said, well, I'm white. And I looked around and I said, you're not white. And I took a sheet of paper and I put it down and told him to put his arm on it. And I said, you're not white. I said, what color are you? And he was like, almost, at this point, he was crying and stuff. And so I was like, what did I say? I was like, don't cry. I said, I'm trying to explain something to you. Stop crying. I said, you're not uncle. I'm not uncle. You're not white or anything. Okay? But I'm just saying, when you call somebody uncle, then you got to remember that uncle, there's uncle that's the same color as you. Okay? So, and then the uncle that's closest to your color is pretty much worthless. Okay? So don't talk about people being uncle because of their dark skin and stuff like that. Okay? I'm just letting you know that's how it is. And teacher verified everything, but she was pissed. I know she was pissed because all that stuff I'm talking, because she does get dark in the summertime, but at that time it was kind of like winter, I guess. So she was like, everyone was pretty much white, I guess, or what we consider quote unquote white. And she was not happy, and I could see her just being really upset. When I finished, she grabbed him and took him outside, talked to him, and he came in and he was crying and he apologized to me. And I said, no, don't. I said, listen, no matter anything you ever say to me, if you do anything to me, don't you ever apologize. I said, because everything you did, you intentionally did it. Okay? You can't do anything without thinking about it first. I said, don't apologize to me. I said, I don't care. I know the value of uncle and the value of black uncle. You don't know. I had to educate you. I told him, I said, I had to tell you, but in the process of me telling you, everyone else got embarrassed. And so that's why it's not good to talk about people, because some people, they're going to tell you the truth. And they said the truth will set you free, but it never said it wouldn't hurt. But anyway, that's pretty much, that's what I do. Even when I was in the military, I went through a lot of stuff, and it was just education. Okay, like here's one that's really, this education is really interesting. So we go to work, I get there, I don't know, about 9 or whatever, and we got to stay there. I think we were doing 12-hour shifts that day, and I got selected to correct all the maintenance books because I was really good at it and stuff, because everybody else didn't want to do it, so I'm doing it. Then the master sergeant came in and he said, all right, we got this table, we need to move it down. And the table was just like just this real long rectangular box made of wood, and the part of the floor was all wood, plywood, 2x4, whatever. And inside of it, we had these toolboxes that were at least 80 to 100 pounds. And in order for us to move it, we had to take all the toolboxes out. But if you take all the toolboxes out before you put them in, you got to inspect and grease all of the tools. So all the other sergeants that were ranking higher than me, I think the highest ranking was a staff sergeant, maybe a tech sergeant, hit to be a tech sergeant there also. And so he was like, they were like, well, we don't want to do it. And Master Sergeant said, well, I'm leaving. When I come back, y'all better have it done. And if y'all got to be here all night or tomorrow until it's finished, then fine, but you better get started early, So they were all like, oh, what do we do? And I kept telling them, I said, I know what to do. And they were like, oh, shut up, Ralph, because I think I was maybe senior airman or A1C, 2 stripes. And they were like, well, we're sergeants and blah, blah, blah. We've been in the Air Force long, and if we don't know what to do, what makes you think, you know what to do? And I'm thinking, like, it's only math. It's not, simple, So I kept saying, please, please, please. So I think like 5 hours go by, and nothing's done. He returns to the office, and he's pissed. And he's yelling at everybody, because everybody, I done asked about like 10 times, and they're like, if you ask again, we're going to write you up like a letter of reprimand or something like that, which is really harsh, So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So he came back, and no one didn't do anything, and they kept pleading. He said, listen, you guys take them boxes out right now and move it down, or I told you to, and just do your work. You're going to be here all night anyway. You can finish before 7 hours, so, but it's just tedious work. And I said, but I know how to move it. And then I said, that's it, God damn it, Dunkins, we're gonna write you up. And he was like, what's going on? And they were like, well, we're trying to figure out how to move it. And he's been harassing us and irritating us, talking about he knows how, and none of us don't. I mean, none of us don't. He didn't say I didn't say they did, but none of us don't know what to do. Like we don't know what to do. And so he turned. And he got mad at me. All right, Aaron Duckers, because when I was in the Philippines, I was not liked. And so he said, all right, Aaron Duckers, that's it. I'm going to write you up. And I said, but I know what to do. I said, why can't you guys just give me a chance? You know? And he's all right. We'll give you one chance, and if you don't do it, I'm personally going to write you a letter of reprimand. And I'm like, a letter of reprimand? That's a little harsh. He said, I don't care. You know, you're disrespecting all these officers, these other NCOs and stuff. So tell me what to do. I said, okay, well, how far you want to move? So he wanted to move it like 3 or 4 feet. I said, which way? He said, like this way. So let's say like I'm facing the car. So we're gonna go this way to the they want to. Actually, yeah, it was being pushed to my left or to your left as you're watching the video. If you're watching the video, well, anyways, to my left. And so I told him, I said 3 guys get on this side, 2 guys get on this side, and when you push, don't. I say all of you push hard, but you 2 guys don't try to resist the movement of these 2. Don't try to, once they start moving, just move with them. And they're like, oh, that's stupid. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. And I said, just try it. And they did it. And that table moved just like this. Just, I ain't lying. It was just went, just like that. Like, not even 3 seconds. And it moved. And they were like, holy fucking shit. What happened? How'd that happen? You know, and I said, well, when you push together, what you're doing is because you got that friction, because the plywood was on the whole floor and the floor was cement. So I said, so you're not going to be able to push all that weight. So when you push it together, what you're doing is you're buckling it, and it's taking a weight off of the middle, and you're going to just have the ends touching it, so you can move that because there's not going to be so much resistance. I mean friction. And they was like, oh, how you know this? And I'm like, math. I mean, anybody knows that, you know. If it's something heavy, you want to move it, what you got to do? You got to pick it up, you know. So the sergeant was like, Ralph, go home. I was like, I left, because in the Philippines, when they tell you to go home, you know, they advise you run until you get off the red, what is it? The area where the planes, I forgot what it's called. And then don't go to your barracks, you change clothes, and you run downtown, because if something happens, they go in the barracks, and whoever's there, they're going to get caught, you know. And so I just ran home and stuff. And next day I came in, oh man, they were so pissed, you know. And they made sure I understood that they were pissed, giving me all these things to do, but I didn't care, you know. Like, whatever, you know. But that's how pretty much how my Air Force was. But I learned, and so that's what I tell my son, and I'm sending these videos, you know. But another thing also is I'm thinking, like, well, you know, you guys, if you already know, because a lot of people are reading these books, oh, Japan is racist and all that stuff. Well, if you already come out here knowing, thinking, well, not knowing, but thinking and believing these books that Japan is racist, then why would you marry a Japanese woman and have kids with her? I don't understand that, you know, because it's like the white kids, when I was in the military, they're like, oh, were you black and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, look at you. You white. Hey, what's wrong with you being white? I said, because when you go out in the sun, you fucking torture. The sun tortures you. It don't torture me, it tortures you. I said, so you're talking about me, and then I don't like it, that's racism. I said, well, don't get upset at me, it's not racism, that's natural. If you want to get upset, then you go home, you ask your mom and your father, why is it that they know that white skin is going to burn, and that they chose to have birth you and bring you into this world, knowing that you're not going to be able to get out and enjoy the sun like I can. And they were like, they got upset, but you know, some people are, we're gonna get raised, we're gonna write you and tell you, blah blah blah, and get you in trouble. I'm like, you can't get me in trouble for that. That's biology, that's science. You know, I can't get in trouble for that. You know, it's just you're just on the wrong end of the spectrum. But you know, it's not my fault. You know, so it's like, I said, you know, that's not my fault. You know, that's your parents' fault. So don't get upset at me, you know. Stop talking about my black skin, you know, because in the sun I'm energized. And I said, and I'll stop telling you how you get burnt, how the sun burns you, or remind you how the sun burns you, when you're on in it. And they leave me alone. And then they come back with some more stuff in education. But the whole thing, no, I'm not running off into my, oh man, I went the wrong way. Threads. anyway, the whole thing is that a lot of the men out here, they just don't think. You know, a lot of people just get up saying rape this and that and this and that. I got a lot of stories stuff. You know, and when it comes to their kids, they're really protective. But you know, I'm sure if their child was in America and some kids were bothering them in school, that you know they would tell their kid, hey, well, you got to stand up and be a man or be a woman and deal with it. You know, don't let them push you over. But out here in Japan, it's like, oh, my kid. I'm like, oh, man, are you joking? Come on, man, get serious, man. You know, but anyway, I'm done. I'm gonna meet one of my friends. He's from one of the islands. I met him a long time ago. He's in my Players Club group. If you want to join, then let me know, and I'll invite you. And then from there, this one guy, Fabio, he steals all my friends and make up his groups, and then add everyone to his groups, and then and I don't know, it's weird, but anyway, you guys need to join. It's interesting. But recently, I haven't really been saying much on it. But here, let me get out of here. So I can go find my friend and hit the clubs. Peace.